I mean, look, I in the main, people make mistakes. And the problem with Joe Biden's gaffes is that they are of a kind that suggests this is not a guy who is up in what everybody seems to agree is a all hands on deck, ring the fire alarms type of an election. This does not seem like the guy that you want to go into this type of battle with. It just seems risky. And here he is speaking to an event of gun activists in Iowa, and does not seem to realize that the Parkland shooting in Florida took place like a year and a half after he left office, which is weird.
I watched what happened when the kids from Parkland marched up to, and I met with them, and then they went off to up on the hill when I was vice president. They went off the hill to go into those neighborhoods. All those congressmen were like, "No, I'm not here. I'm not here. Don't tell them I'm around."
What's weird about this is like, he's not, there's a whole narrative that he's constructed here. This is not like, I met the Parkland kids when I was vice president, and I'll tell you, I was very impressed by those kids, and I thought they did great work. He has a whole story that they showed up at the White House and then went across the hill and he saw what happened. I mean, look, and I don't know if this is just a function, like, I do think there's some issues with his age or the way that he's aging, I should say. Like, I don't think I happen to subscribe to the idea that age is a number, doesn't necessarily peg you. People tend to think that I'm younger than I am. Great. I hope I can sustain that when I'm Biden's age, Bernie's age, or Warren's age, whatever. But this is also a guy, and granted, it was 25 years ago, 30 years ago, but when he plagiarized from Neil Kinnock, he was not taking, Neil Kinnock was a labor leader. He was not taking language that was about, that was depersonalized. He was not taking language about, the struggle of labor or the struggle of ordinary guys, or here's a story about Joe Sixpack, or even like, I met a guy who came to me with a lunch bag, and he said, I want this lunch bag to be, my dad gave me this lunch bag. He's not even doing that. The part that he took from Neil Kinnock was Neil Kinnock's personal story about growing up the son of a coal miner or something. It's very, like, he took the personal stuff and adopted it.
Who hasn't been at a party telling a story and you realize halfway through, oops, that story happened to someone else?
Yeah, well, I think that happens to people when they get confused. But it's not like he was hanging out with Neil Kinnock. And it was a written script.
Yeah, it was about how am I the first person to go to university here? Were my parents thick? Like, it was. It's very weird to look at.
They're such good friends.
Strange.
Sometimes he loses track of the boundaries between himself and other people.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I find myself speaking with a British accent. But that's the weird part about Joe Biden. But we'll wait till after Labor Day when you can get a real good look at that.
He's going down.
I mean I continue to believe that, but we'll see. This could be the big chapter, the biggest chapter of my book on Blame the Voters.
That might be the moment you finally get me to blame the electorate.
There you go.
Honestly.